Hi guys, I am absolutely live today and I am gonna first of all apologise because my voice is probably sounding very echoey because I'm in the process of moving at the moment, so a lot of the rooms are empty and so I'm recording from my home studio and it's not it's not the best place to record, but I did want to do this recording and I did want to do it also loud, so I'm hoping that the echo is not too off-putting because I've got some really exciting stuff that I want to take us through today. So this is focused on our new product line, which is called UltraStrip, which is coming out in 2025, and we are now focused on the branding and packaging. And I know that I have called everybody to come and be part of this process, especially if it's a product that you're thinking that you would want to wear yourself. It's always good for you to be able to, have a say in some of the things that you're actually putting your money to. So today I'm talking about the first bit in relation to our branding and packaging, because we want to make sure that everything reflects the things that we want it to reflect, if that makes sense. And so for the first section, I'm going to teach, because essentially that's what I am. I'm a teacher that so happens to own a brand of products for people that have got fine hair, thin hair, or just want more volume. So those of you that know me know that I also train all the salons in being able to provide the service to customers and to clients. But essentially, teaching is something that I love to do. So today, I'm just going to teach you a little bit about how we come to our conclusions in relation to packaging and branding, and specifically what we're going to be doing when it comes to UltraStrip, so that when you see it, you can actually, you go, oh yeah, I understand why they've gone with those, with those particular colours, those particular images, and so on and so forth. So when I was doing the introduction, and if you haven't already seen the introduction video, I will put it up once, this is no longer live, so that anybody that sees it and it's not live can just click on it and just look at the introduction, so that they can get an idea as to how we've come to this point. So, but in the introduction video, I spoke about 4 things that we're going to be looking at from a position of packaging. The first was, and I'm not doing it in any order because I can't remember, but it's looking at the colours. Then we're looking also at the images that we're going to be using. Also going to be looking at the language that we're going to be using, and also the experience that we want you to have. So all those 4 things is what's going to determine our branding and our packaging. And essentially it's this centre here where they all come to. That's what's going to actually become the packaging that you see for the product in all its entirety. So right down to the hair care guide and all those kind of things, they'll be all put into this kind of formula. But today I want to look at colours, and because they're all intertwined, I cannot look at one thing without considering the others. So although we're going to start off with colours, when we're looking at packaging, you've got to consider all the others as well. So they all come and play a role, basically. But the key focus today is what colour should we use, and that's what we're going to be asking at the end of this mini training, as to, what kind of colours, based on the things that I'm saying, would you think will go, really well with the product, with UltraStrip, and what kind of colours do you think are definitely a no-no? And I'm going to use some examples of, some packaging that name brands have done already, and then, I'm going to just take you through some of the things that I kind of like, that pop out to me when I'm looking at these products, and hopefully it will give you an idea as to the sort of things that we should also be looking at when we're looking at UltraStrip. So hopefully that makes sense. So in essence, when you're looking at UltraStrip, I don't want you to look at it as a luxury item, because it's not a luxury item. If I take you a little bit back to the creation of UltraStrands, now UltraStrands was never set up to be a luxury item. UltraStrands as a whole, the volumizer, was just a solution to a problem. And basically, I had a particular person that came in and they had a problem, and I just wanted to solve their problem, and hence UltraStrands, the volumizer, came to life. Now, because of the materials that we use for UltraStrands, it ended up being an expensive, in inverted commas, product. but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a luxury product. However, because people assume expensive means luxury, they always want the luxury element of the product. So it's almost like, you know, if this is costing me this much, I expect A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And unfortunately, when we have a product that is in that price bracket, you have to almost retrospectively go back and start to put the luxury element in there. So that was some of the lessons that we learned when we had the product, because we had a lot of people expecting certain things that we hadn't put into consideration because it wasn't part of what the brand stood for. However, I am now at the point where I understand that people that wear UltraStrip Volumizer, they almost want to be set apart in terms of other products that are on the market, and it does set itself apart in that respect. It is a standalone product that nothing else comes close to it, basically, in what it does. And so therefore, even though it's not a luxury item, it is an item that is set apart from all other products on the market, just because of the manner and the way in which we created it, and also the thought process that went into it, because we wanted to make a solution that worked. We wanted to make a solution that was really light. We were really thinking about the person that was going to wear it, because we actually had a person that it needed to be, it needed to work for. And therefore, we already had, when people go and they say, oh, you need to find your actual, that one customer that your product works for, we were already granted that one customer because we created the product specifically for that one customer. And then we realized that there's lots of customers, lots of people that are like that one person. And therefore, that's where the UltraStrip, the Volumizer, works from. So its story is a little bit different to the UltraStrip story. So UltraStrip is coming down a traditional route where we're actually looking at, what does this product represent? And therefore, how can we align everything else so that when somebody sees the product, they're not confused, they're not mistaken. So the first thing I want to say is that it's not a luxury item. So therefore, when we're looking at products that are luxury, I don't know what springs to your mind, but things that spring to my mind are gold. So for example, I brought some products here, that have been packaged, and I look at them as, say, it's luxury. So this, for example, this is a Prada perfume. So as you can see, it's got gold on it, it's got white on it, it's glass, and even the perfume inside it, essentially, it's kind of like a gold color. So that, when I pick it up, I think, oh yeah, this is luxury. And therefore, because I pick it up and think it's luxury, I'm expected to pay a certain amount. If somebody would tell me that this is going to cost me £50 or even £100, I'd be thinking, what's the catch? Because the bottle is nicely done and it basically screams luxury to me. Another thing that screams luxury is Chanel. So this is Chanel number 5. And basically the reason why this screams luxury to me is not necessarily, although they've got a little bit of gold there, they haven't overdone it with the gold, but it's the simplicity of it all, where they've been like, very, very simple with the branding, with the packaging. It's not complicated, it's not too many curves, it's not big, it's not bulky, it's just like, it's a very feminine bottle in that sense, but at the same time, it also says luxury. So for me, when I see gold, when I see white, when I see black, I look at those things as luxury items, and when you combine them together, usually they are luxury packaging. So this is another one, and this again is gold, and it's got like it's a kind of like I say a brown, but it's not like a brown, you know what I mean? It's almost like an off black color, and as you can see there, again, it's got the gold, it's got the off black, and again, it just, for me, screams luxury. So this is not what UltraStrip is. UltraStrip is not a luxury product. Now, I've actually created my own, it's a brand of perfumes, and I'm just trialing at the moment, and I've actually put it in what I deemed as a luxury packaging. So when you look at this, you'll think, oh wow, this is luxury. However, this is not going to cost you anything near anything else, because actually the product in there is not a luxury product, although the packaging may seem it. So there needs to be a combination of both coming together, because if I would say this is £2.50, you'd look at it and go, oh my god, that's great value, because it looks like it's an expensive product, but what I'm telling you is actually is not that expensive. So I can either just have a very cheap product and put like great packaging on it and then call it an expensive product, and then you would think it is, but I don't want to go down that route. I want to actually brand the product as it is. So we're not talking about a luxury item. We're talking about an item that most people can purchase. I'm not telling you that it's at the bottom end of the scale, but it's definitely not the top end of the scale. It's going to be at an affordable price, because I want as many people that want more volume, whether it is because you've got fine hair or thin hair, or you just want more volume. I want as many people to be able to afford it, but I also want the packaging to reflect it. Now, another level of packaging, oops, that just dropped on the floor. That was my prop. Okay, we get it. You know this is live that I've not cut it off because there we go. So another level of packaging is, you know, colourful packaging, and I quite like the idea of colourful packaging, because colourful packaging, to me, it kind of like says that I'm a brand, but like I'm approachable. And I think that's what I want UltraStrip to be. I want UltraStrip to be an approachable line of products. So I want it to be like, oh, you know what? It's good. The packaging is good. I don't have any problems with the packaging, but but it's approachable. It's approachable. It's not something that I would look at it and go, oh gosh, I can never afford that, or this can never be something that I could put on my hair, or that when you wear it, you're almost thinking, well, I can't put curlers in it. I can't do anything because it's just too delicate. I don't want anything like that. I want something really that is just so welcoming that when you have it, you're proud to have it, but at the same time, you don't make it an idol in that sense. And sometimes luxury products, you can kind of like tend to make them idols, even though no product should be an idol. But the beauty about these colours is that unless you saw the logo on it, you probably wouldn't know what it is. So for example, if I take Chanel, you can see the bottle of Chanel without the name, and you know this is Chanel. You just know, because it's the way the bottle is and everything, you just know it's Chanel. Whereas when you look at this, I can say, hey, look at this packaging, like, what do you think about this? This could be anything, right? This could be anything. Like, I tell her, give me a guess as to what you think this packaging is. Like, it's got my like makeup stuff in it, but what do you think? Do you think it's just like a bog standard, like off the shelf, or do you actually think it's got a brand attached to it? See if you can figure out anything from that. Well, I'll tell you, it's L'Occitane. So it is actually a brand. But when I tell you it's L'Occitane, you go, oh yeah, because everything from L'Occitane has got this actual specific yellow colour. So even though this is yellow, and I can show you some other yellows, there's a difference between the different yellows. But essentially, this again is packaging. This again is branding. But in order for you to be able to determine actually what does this brand stand by, not only do you need the colours, but you also need to have the logo as well, so that you can combine the two together. And then you go, well, of course it is, because this is their colour. Now, in line with that, I've got this as well. This, what do you think this is? This is a red bag. And I can think of two thought processes that you could have that this could be, and you're probably right to a certain degree. I can think of two different brands, but again, this is where they've used colour to depict it. But if you turn it around, it's Kiehl's. This is actually my skincare product. I do not use anything other than this, because they are actually an awesome brand. I'm not plugging them for any reason. I'm just letting you know. But here you go. So essentially, when you now see this, you'll be like, oh yes, of course it is then. So coming back to the brand and the packaging, I think it's the combination of the colour, and I think with the colour as well, it's also the logo that you're going to use. Now this one, if I showed you this, well, I've already shown you what it is. Now this, again, it's a yellow colour. This is yellow, different yellow, this is yellow. And you can see, but it's got black in it. And this is a Selfridges bag. Now, if you were walking down the streets of London and you saw somebody with this afar, you would know that this is Selfridges. You don't even need to see the logo to know that it is Selfridges. And it's just because of the way the packaging is. So the colour that they've used and the black that they've used, and sometimes you have like Selfridges, they use also white and black as well. But with this, if somebody's walking down the street, you know it's Selfridges. You just know it's Selfridges. So essentially, what I am saying is that when you pick a certain colour for packaging and you combine it with you combine it with what the actual brand stands for, then people generally can stick with it. And what does this say to you when you look at it? This says to me that it's a store. Well, it doesn't say it's a store, but we know it's a store. But it basically says to me that actually it's approachable. Anybody can go into Selfridges. You know, Selfridges is not a place where you've got this sudden line of people where it's like, okay, you know, only 10 people can come in at a time. Selfridges is not a place like that. But when you go into Selfridges, you've got a variety of items. There's some things that you can get in Selfridges that are £5. Then there's some things that you can get in Selfridges that are thousands of pounds. So you can get a combination of things that are relatively cheap, all the way up to something that is relatively expensive. But the beauty of it is, regardless of what you get this bag. You get this bag, and this bag is the seal to say, hey, regardless of what product it is that you've got, we want you to know that what you have is still of the branding of Selfridges. And they've basically used this branding to kind of like get people to go, I know I can buy this down the road, but I want to go to Selfridges, even if it's just to get the bag. Even if I'm just going to walk down the streets of London with a bag and all it has is a packet of sweets in it. Get the bag. And then what happens? People tend to keep the bag as well. And you know, with our product and with our branding, we've got to be very careful, because we want also a bag and a pouch that people want to keep, not just because it's where the product will sit when they're not using it, but because also they like the idea of it. The other thing that, you know, for me, which is important is, yeah, Selfridges wants you to know that it's Selfridges. However, if I've got a bag of UltraStrip, do I necessarily want someone to know that UltraStrip is in there? Again, I don't know. So these are questions that I'm throwing open. So, you know, that's something to think about. Like, should the packaging actually have anything on it, you know, or not, or you know, or should it just be this? For example, the I don't know, the paper that comes with it that has got the stuff in it, so that can be thrown away, but the packaging itself has got no name on it, because the packaging itself has got no name on it. Nobody knows what's in it. And these are some of the things that I need to think about, and you know, I'm inviting you on this journey with me. Now, you can see there's a lot of yellows in here, because the direction that I'm going in is yellow with black and with white. And I picked this M&M. Who loves M&M? Like, I love M&M bags. I love it. I love M&M the chocolate, and I love their bags. You know, and I don't know whether I'm drawn to these things because of the colour. As again, you can see it's yellow and it's got white in it. And obviously, okay, you've got all the different colour M&Ms there. Again, like M&M, they're not playing. They're like, I want you to know that this is, when you're walking, that's an M&M bag. They could have literally just had this yellow bag with white, and then like a very small M&M in the corner. But they didn't want that. They wanted you to know that, you know, if you're walking into our store and you're coming out, that I want everyone to know that this is M&M. And a lot of brands will put their names on the packaging because they're walking advertisements. Of course they are, you know. You're walking down the street with an M&M bag, somebody's like thinking, oh, should we go to the M&M store? Or they'll be like, oh, there's an M&M store there, let's go. So yes, they're walking advertisements, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a walking advertisement. I'm looking for something that's going to reflect the product itself, that's going to be welcoming, that's going to go, hey, you know what, this is for you. And I want the experience. So I said everything is connected. So I want the experience. Oh, I'm dropping everything today. Oh gosh, okay. Let me pick this up. Sorry guys, this is live. In case you've just joined, this is live, and I'm going through my teaching on product packaging and branding, specifically for those of you that want to be part of this journey and want to help us decide what our product and our packaging should look like. So, you know, but in order for you to be able to decide, you've got to know the direction that I'm looking at and the direction that I'm going. And I don't want you to just like pick up something and just go, hey, this looks good, or this looks great, or I've seen this. I want you to understand where I'm coming from. So today we're talking about colours, but everything else is intertwined and impacted, just even though we're just talking about colours. So the experience that I want somebody to have when they open the package, like, I don't want it to be overwhelming. I don't want it to be, oh my gosh. I don't want it to be too much, but I do want it to be the case that we care about the product and we care about you. So we have looked after this product for you. So essentially, I want that to be an experience, but I mean, obviously, I'll talk about experience when we come. But when I think about experience at this point in relation to color, I've got to think of what colors am I using? Like, you know, am I going to be using a dark color, which kind of like sometimes can be closing, or I'm going to use a bright color, or am I going to use like a super bright color, funky color that people go, oh, okay, you know, this is funky. So because we can use multicolors as well, so you can go, oh, Chloe, actually, maybe something multicolor, maybe something the color of the rainbow, or something along those lines. Like, you know, these are all options. But like, I am looking at yellows because I don't know, there's something about yellow that says to me, it's welcoming. It's a welcoming color, and it doesn't say luxury, but at this other end, it also doesn't say cheap. it doesn't say you know, doesn't say this could be anything. It actually has a stamp on it, and I think that, you know, the likes of Selfridges could use a certain yellow, and L'Occitane could use a certain yellow, and even M&M's could use a certain yellow. I think that they've caught onto something. So for me, that's the direction that I'm looking at. I am also looking at, you know, whites as well, and also blacks as well. So yellow, white, and black. That three combination is what I'm looking at the moment. But I am so interested for your comments and for your suggestions in relation to whether you think that's a great idea for the product that we are creating, or whether you're thinking we should be looking at something different, like for example orange, or I don't know. Again, yeah, let me show you orange. Like, this is an orange, this is an orange, and this is a Sainsbury's bag. For anyone not in the UK that doesn't know what Sainsbury's is, it's a grocery store. This is literally their yellow colour. Now, incidentally, it's very funny because I believe Sainsbury's and Waitrose are the same company, or at least owned by each other, but the bags signified something totally different. If you're walking with a Waitrose bag, you kind of like feel a bit different to if you're walking with a Sainsbury's bag. Like, why is that? Why is it? Is it because of the product inside? Or is it because there's something with the colours that have been used that actually kind of like make you think away? That's something for you to think about. Just think about the Waitrose and the Sainsbury's, and think about, why are they different? You know, is it just because the food in there is different? Is that it? Or is it something to do with the way in which they've packaged and branded their products? The food when you actually buy it, because that will also help you in thinking about, well, you know, when we're thinking about branding and packaging, what kind of stuff do I need to think about? So all of you guys that are interested in branding, I said it's going to be an exciting journey, and it is. So all of you guys that are interested in branding and packaging, you know, if you're thinking of starting your own business and you're thinking, oh, you know, this is kind of like a good mini training course. Like, I'm not professing to know everything about it. This is something that we're walking through. But you know, I do think it's an important thing to think about. It's not just a case of, hey, let's just put something out there and let it stick. You know, UltraStrip itself, if you go all the way to the beginning, it has come through many different iterations. When we first started it, the colour for UltraStrip was black, pink, and white. You know, that was the first. That was the first colour. Now we've gone black and gold again, because we're realising that actually, although it's not a luxury item, people that wear it have kind of almost put it in that bracket. People have put it in that luxury bracket, and therefore all the packaging and everything is changing to reflect that. Whereas with UltraStrip, we want to be very crystal clear on the onset that we have figured this out. we know what this product is, and we don't want you to have to guess it. We don't want you to actually label it. We want to be able to label it ourselves. Hence why we are focusing in the next few months on our packaging and our branding. So that has been colours. So yeah, again, like I'm just going to say for the final time, the colours that we are thinking of is yellow, white, and black. Those three colours. I have not yet decided the shade of yellow. As you can see, there's all different types of yellows. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. But I am so open to your suggestions. So open to it, so open to it. What do you think? Do you think that that's a great palette to start off with? I can put some examples up, and so you can have a look at some of the things that we're thinking of, and then yeah, you can comment on them as we go along. So I hope that's been helpful. Well, I'm saying I hope it's been helpful, but actually what I'm trying to say is we need some help here. You are our team. You are a team of testers, and even if you've not purchased the UltraStrip, the prototype version, you can still help us test. So this is for you guys. We are creating this product for you guys, for everybody that wants a solution, whether they've got fine thinning hair and they're looking for something for their parting, or they just want more volume, or they just want to get, they just want to hide their greys for a couple of weeks longer. This solution should work for you, and we're building it and creating it for you. So whilst we're testing in the background, we're also focusing on our branding and packaging. And I don't want it to be a surprise to anybody when it comes out. I really want it to be like, that's what we thought. That's what she said she was going to do, and she's done it. We're being vulnerable and transparent in this process. So hey, anybody want to steal this idea? Great, go ahead. I really don't care, because at the end of the day, it's not about. It's not really about the idea. It's about what comes in the end goal, in the end goal. So yeah, so that's it. And I am going to shoot off now. And I hope, I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your help. And next time we're going to be focusing on the images side of it, and that's also going to be fun. And again, I'm going to do that live as well. So I'm going to do all of these segments for branding and packaging live. I may edit the version that goes online, just because I've done a couple of faux pas here. I've dropped some things on the floor, and yeah, so when I watch it back, it might be that some things might need to come out, but essentially I'm going to try and keep everything in. So that's it. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing your comments. Take care. Bye.